Zhen Yao's quest for vengeance has officially begun, and his targets are the monsters who once brutalized Xiao Tong. He has no intention of sparing a single soul. In his eyes, even their families deserve to perish by his blade. His ultimate goal is to tear the problem out by the roots, ensuring there are no loose ends, forever. After finishing his military service, Zhen Yao took a job working under a man named K. By night, he works as a street sweeper, but by day, he occasionally assists K in cleaning up grisly crime scenes. With every bloodstain he scrubs away, he's secretly mastering the art of the perfect kill, learning how to take a life without leaving a single trace, all to prepare for the retribution that lies ahead. There's just one missing piece. He hasn't found Xiao Tong yet. While everyone else claims she took her own life, Zhen Yao refuses to stop searching until he has definitive proof. He knows that the moment he confirms she's truly gone, he will personally visit each of those abusers' homes to settle the final score. Then, one day, he crosses paths with a blind girl named Xia. While she doesn't look like Xiao Tong, her voice, her tone, and her every habit are a mirror image of her. Zhen Yao is left shaken when he notices a butterfly tattoo on her finger, the exact same one Xiao Tong had. He soon discovers that Xia is a radio host. From that moment on, Zhen Yao listened to her program every single day. During one broadcast, she shares that her vision suddenly began to fail during the summer of her junior year in high school, leaving her completely blind just a few months later. That was the exact same year Xiao Tong's tragedy occurred, and she transferred schools. As the coincidences stack up, Zhen Yao becomes more convinced than ever that Xia is actually Xiao Tong. To confirm his suspicions, Zhen Yao begins to watch her from the shadows. During one instance, seeing her about to walk into an obstacle, he couldn't help but speak up to warn her. When Xia hears his voice, she's startled. It's the same young man who helped her home once before. Her accidental smile leaves Zhen Yao stunned for a moment. It felt as if Xiao Tong herself was standing right there in front of him. Even when she isn't smiling, she resembles Xiao Tong. She even shares the same favorite meal, chicken leg rice. Xia eventually asks Zhen Yao a question. "Do we know each other?" She adds, "I don't know why, but the first time I met you, your voice felt so familiar. It was as if we had known each other for a very long time. But we probably don't know each other, right?" Zhen Yao eyes the butterfly tattoo on her hand and probes further, asking why she chose that specific design. Her answer is bone-chilling. "I honestly don't know why I have this tattoo. To my knowledge, I've never even gone to get one." As she speaks, her hurried mannerisms are identical to the way Xiao Tong used to talk. Before parting ways, they exchanged phone numbers. When she returns home, her nanny, Aunt Chu, has prepared sesame oil chicken. It's a dish Xia loves, and coincidentally, so did Aunt Chu's own daughter. But as Xia uses the accessibility mode for the blind to text Zhen Yao, Aunt Chu suddenly stops what she's doing and turns her head, staring intently at her. Over the following days, Zhen Yao and Xia message each other constantly. Eventually, Zhen Yao gathers his courage and asks her out for a meal. She agrees without hesitation, showing a rare look of pure happiness. Meanwhile, Xia has a friend named Kiki who often stays over. However, in the dead of night, he secretly snoops through her phone as if she's searching for something. All the while, the men who once assaulted Xiao Tong are out there, living perfectly normal lives. One of them, Li Chun, is haunted by the past. Every time he sees an injured girl, he is instantly dragged back to that horrific night. The thought of how badly she was treated consumes him. He can't find a moment of peace and has even begun to suffer from vivid, terrifying hallucinations. Zhen Yao confronts the ghosts of his past, demands answers. "Do you two have any idea where Xiao Tong went?" One of the men snaps back. "Why are you bringing this up now? You're about to get married. Why even mention her name?" But Zhen Yao sees right through him. "Why were you so terrified the second I mentioned Xiao Tong? Are you actually sick? If you're feeling guilty, if you're feeling remorse, then you might as well just go die." It turns out Tai Chuang and Hung Lin were also among the predators who destroyed Xiao Tong. Today, Tai Chuang has rebranded himself as a martial arts instructor, teaching women self-defense. He constantly warns girls to be vigilant about sexual safety, yet he never utters a word about the time he himself shattered a young girl's life. Then there's Hung Lin, who now runs a small eatery. His life is back on track, and he refuses to let Xiao Tong's name be spoken. To these men, she is nothing more than a stain on their personal history that they wish to scrub away. However, guilt is eating Li Chun alive. He joins an online group, desperately seeking help from strangers to track down any trace of Xiao Tong's whereabouts. One day, while spending time with Zhen Yao, Xia suddenly asks him for a selfie. Zhen Yao is confused. Why would a blind girl need a photo? But Xia reveals a secret. Her vision is like looking through a thick layer of fog. If she catches a glimpse from a certain angle or looks out of the corner of her eye, she can still see faint shapes and shadows. Disaster strikes when Zhen Yao realizes his phone is missing. "I think I dropped my phone on the road. Stay here and wait for me for a second," he tells her. But the moment he leaves to find it, Li Chan emerges from the shadows behind Qing Xia. "Are you Xiao Tong?" he whispers. The second Qing Xia hears his voice. Her expression transforms into pure terror. A horrific memory flashes through her mind. Yi walks into Xiao Tong's room, singing a haunting tune. There sits Xiao Tong, covered in blood and bandages, surrounded by the shards of a shattered mirror. On the computer screen, the footage of her assault is playing. In her hand, she grips a jagged piece of glass. It seems she has carved into her own face to destroy her beauty. Li Chun gets a clear look at Qing Xia's face and realizes he has the wrong person. Just as he's about to retreat, he runs straight into Zhen Yao. Zhen Yao can't believe this monster had the nerve to show his face. He immediately drags him away and delivers a brutal beating, snarling a final warning. "If you ever go looking for Xiao Tong again, I will kill you with my own hands." Li Chun is truly broken by guilt. He's about to become a father and is desperate to wash away the sins of his past. As evening falls, Zhen Yao walks Qing Xia home. When they pass the spot where Xiao Tong used to practice her dancing, Qing Xia suddenly stops in her tracks. Stunned, Zhen Yao asks her if she likes to dance. She denies it. "Do you like dancing?" she asks back. "My balance is terrible and I'm not athletic at all, so I probably wouldn't like it." Suddenly, the sky opens up in a heavy downpour. Qing Xia reaches out to wipe the rain from Zhen Yao's face, a gesture identical to what Xiao Tong did for him years ago. Overwhelmed by the moment, Zhen Yao moves in to kiss her, but Qing Xia flinches and steps back. In that moment, Zhen Yao realizes that, in his mind, the silhouettes of Qing Xia and Xiao Tong are not the same. He decides that if Qing Xia isn't Xiao Tong, he cannot let her become a replacement. It would be too cruel and unfair to her. After they part ways, Zhen Yao stops all contact. He digs into her medical records and finds that her blindness is listed as a hereditary condition. It's genetic, he tells himself. She's blind, and they aren't the same person at all. He knows that if she ever found out he was only using her as a stand-in for his lost love, it would break her heart. "I won't see her again," he vows. Zhen Yao stops answering her texts and ignores her calls. Qing Xia is left in the dark, confused and hurt, trying to go on with her life. But the truth is, Zhen Yao can't truly walk away. Even though he's trying his hardest not to see her as Xiao Tong's shadow, he still finds himself watching over her from afar, unable to stop caring for the girl in the fog. Qing Xia can feel it, a faint, lingering presence. Someone is watching her. Trembling, she calls Zhen Yao. "You haven't been answering my calls, and you ignored my texts. Zhen Yao, please, don't stay silent anymore." Zhen Yao is on the verge of responding when something stops him cold. There, right in front of him, is Xiao Tong's father. He hears the man call her Xia. It turns out, Xiao Tong's father has been working as a taxi driver all these years, personally driving Qing Xia home every single day. And the nanny? That's actually Xiao Tong's mother. What do these two know? If they've discovered the truth, why are they keeping it a secret? Driven by suspicion, Zhen Yao tracks down the taxi company, using a lost phone as an excuse to get information. When he provides the license plate, the employee tells him that at that specific time, Mr. Yang, the driver, was picking up his daughter from work. As Zhen Yao prepares to leave, he realizes Xiao Tong's father is already waiting for him at the door. The truth is finally coming to light. At the same time, Yun Chen, the girl who witnessed Xiao Tong's assault years ago, is out working as a sales rep. By pure chance, she ends up in an elevator with Qing Xia. When she catches a glimpse of the butterfly tattoo on Qing Xia's wrist, her face goes pale. She suspects Qing Xia is actually Xiao Tong, but the name and the face don't match. Seeking answers, she tracks down Mrs. Yang. "I'm an old high school classmate of Xiao Tong," she says. "I'm looking for her." But Mrs. Yang shuts her down instantly. She moved abroad. Later, Yun Chun tells her boyfriend about the encounter, but he couldn't care less. He's only interested in dragging her to a high-stakes poker game. "Didn't you say you were a pro at cards? If you sit out a few rounds for me, I'll feed you the right cards." Yun Chin thinks it's just a game, but she doesn't realize her boyfriend has lured her into a trap. "You lost," they tell her. "Planning on backing out of your debt?" "I have nothing to do with him." Her boyfriend lies. "Listen," the thugs growl. "If you try to skip out on what you owe, the consequences won't be pretty." Meanwhile, Ting Fan, one of the monsters who assaulted Xiao Tong, is now in a dark partnership with a criminal named Ouyang. Their business is depraved. Ting Fan drugs women to film and photograph them, while Ouyang sells the footage online. Even Yi Tung has become one of Ouyang's henchmen. Any girl who loses at their gambling dens is forced to take nude photos to pay off their debts. Is this our old high school classmate? They sneer. How much money can we squeeze out of her? You're truly evil. The harder they laugh now, the harder they're gonna scream later. Eventually, Xiao Tong's parents led Zhen Yao into their daughter's old room. After leaving, he rushes to find Qing Xia, apologizing profusely for disappearing. Zhen Yao has been hiding so much. I was afraid that if I told you everything, you'd leave me, he confesses. He finally admits the truth. He went to prison for stabbing someone. He tells her he survives on odd jobs and manual labor. In the days I couldn't see you, I missed you every single second. Qing Xia softens. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Zhen Yao replies, as long as you aren't angry, I'll do whatever you want. They spend the entire day at an arcade, laughing and taking photos together during dinner. Over the next few days, their bond deepens into a passionate romance, and they finally become intimate. But that night, as Qing Xia falls into a deep sleep, Zhen Yao sits by the window alone, sobbing uncontrollably. He has finally confirmed it with her parents. Qing Xia is Xiao Tong. Back then, the video of her assault leaked online. In her desperation, she had used a shard of glass to disfigure herself. While her parents rushed her to the hospital, Yi appeared by her side. Only Xiao Tong could see Yi, and it was Xiao Tong who begged Yi to kill her. In reality, Yi is Xiao Tong's dark, alternate personality, a psychological shield born from trauma. Her parents tried everything to save her, but they couldn't stop the fog from consuming her vision as she retreated further into her own darkness. So why has Xiao Tong become like this? Why does she act as if she doesn't even know me? Zhen Yao wonders in despair. She doesn't even remember who they are, because she had lost all her memories. Xiao Tong's mother decided to have the doctors perform plastic surgery on her and gave her a completely new name. But not long after, the girl suddenly claimed she couldn't see anything and had no idea why she was even in that room. She wasn't Xiao Tong anymore. She was Qing Xia. First, her parents couldn't accept that their daughter had become a different person. They believed she had suffered such a massive shock that her mind simply broke. They sought out countless doctors and teachers, desperately hoping she would return to her old self, but every attempt failed. However, while Xiao Tong had become a stranger, forgetting everyone she ever knew, she also managed to forget all the horrific trauma she had endured. She once said, "The next time I go to Taipei, I want to start over. I'll definitely be a better person than I am now." Zhen Yao cannot even begin to imagine the absolute agony Xiao Tong must have felt. A pain so deep she preferred to die. If it weren't that bad, why would she choose to erase her entire existence? He clenches his hand over his mouth, stifling his sobs so he doesn't make a sound, terrified that she might hear him crying. The next morning, Yun Chun, who is also a victim of coercion, receives a debt collection text from a company. They demand she pay up that very night. Otherwise, she must do as they say, or they will send her nude photos to her workplace. To save her job, she has no choice but to comply. That night, her contact hands her a room keycard and pushes her to serve a client. Standing at the door, she is consumed by fear and turns to run. However, the people inside anticipated she wouldn't cooperate. They grab her and drag her straight into a private room. The moment she steps inside, Yun Chin freezes. The people waiting for her are her old high school classmates, Ouyang, Yi Tung, and Ting Fan. All your debts have been transferred to our hands now, they sneer. From now on, you are our merchandise. But don't let Ouyang's arrogance fool you. In reality, he is tortured by nightmares every single day. The scene of Zhen Yao stabbing him back in high school haunts him like a ghost. Every time he dreams of Zhen Yao, he wets the bed. When his mother hears the commotion and tries to comfort him, Ouyang doesn't treat her like a mother. He snarls at her like a rabid dog. Zhen Yao was in prison. Why didn't you kill him then? He screams. Who is responsible for the mess I am today? In truth, after Ouyang's scandals were exposed, his father divorced his mother to protect his own career. Now, his mother has no one to lean on but Ouyang. Meanwhile, Yun Chun, who was once Xiao Tong's close friend, has been desperately searching for her. At her grandmother's funeral, she runs into Yi Tung. From him, she hears the rumor that Xiao Tong might have committed suicide. Yun Chun refuses to believe it. She begins frantically calling old classmates to confirm the story. During a high school get-together, the girls are gossiping about Yun Chen's search for Xiao Tong. Yun Chun takes note of everything, then corners a girl named Zhang in the restroom. Zhang was one of the masterminds back then. She was the one who filmed the video and posted it online. Now, she's a live streamer. Knowing Zhang is greedy for money, Yun Chun tells her that a big-shot client is looking for a companion. The pay is a staggering $200,000. She asks if Zhang wants the job, and without a moment's hesitation, Zhang agrees. When they meet that evening, Yoon Chun hands her the room key. This was the scapegoat she had chosen. But what she didn't know was that Zhang had been in constant contact with Oh Yang all along. The moment Yoon Chun makes her move, Zhang realizes exactly what she's up to. Yoon Chun, you've been this self-righteous since high school, Zhang mocks. You think paying a few million is enough for hush money? That's not how it works. Sign this $2 million promissory note and then you can go. Terrified, Yoon Chun begs, please, just let me go. Panic sets in as Tung rushes to find Oh Yang. Everything is spiraling out of control. The girls they once terrorized and filmed have finally found their courage and are reporting them to the police. But a police report is the least of their worries. The real death sentence? One of those girls belongs to a powerful mob boss named Kuin Gu. Now that Ting Fan has vanished, Kuin Gu is hunting him down like a dog. If the mob discovers that Oh Yang's family is tied to this mess, they'll be executed on the spot. Terrified that Ting Fan will crack under pressure and sell them out, Tung begs Oh Yang to ask his father for help. But Oh Yang ignores him, obsessed only with finding Ting Fan before the mob does. Meanwhile, Yoon Chun is drowning in a debt of over $1 million. Zhang, knowing Yoon Chun comes from a wealthy family, makes a cold-blooded offer. Give me $1 million, and I'll tell you the whole truth about what happened to Xiao Tong. Don't you want to know what happened to your best friend? When Yoon Chun hesitates, Zhang ups the ante. Just find me $2 million, and I'll tell you everything I know. While the monsters scramble, Zhen Yao is trying to build a life with Qing Xia. She mentions wanting to go to the beach because she has a faint memory of being there with Zhen Yao and a girl named Yoon Chun. Though Zhen Yao is hesitant, he buys an old car just for her. Anywhere you want to go, I'll take you, he promises, determined to bury the past. But fate has other plans. At a red light, Zhen Yao spots Ting Fan. The memories of how many times this man degraded Xiao Tong come flooding back. Zhen Yao follows him to a secluded building at the end of a street. Inside, Ting Fan tries to laugh it off. That was 100 years ago. Do you really hate me that much? Is it worth pushing us to the brink? Fine, I'm sorry. We were wrong. Happy now? But the apology is a lie. Seeing Zhen Yao's silence, Ting Fan turns vile. He begins to recount the assault on Xiao Tong in graphic, disgusting detail, using foul language to insult her one last time. That was the final straw. Ting Fan becomes the first person Zhen Yao kills. Once the seal is broken, there is no turning back. As the story unfolds, we learn the tragic truth. The trauma of being gang-raped by her classmates caused Xiao Tong's mind to fracture into 3 distinct personalities. Turns out that Qing Xia, Qi, and Zhu are all different versions of Xiao Tong. Only one personality, Yi, remembers the horror. The other 2 live in total ignorance of their painful past. After the murder, Zhen Yao's initial panic is replaced by a cold, professional calm. Drawing on his experience as a crime scene cleaner, he meticulously scrubs the blood and burns off all 10 of Ting Fan's fingerprints to prevent identification. He stuffs the body into a weighted bag and sinks it into the ocean. When he returns to Qing Xia, he acts as if nothing happened. The next day, Oh Yang finds the spot where Ting Fan died and sees a stray bloodstain that Zhen Yao missed. However, he doesn't suspect Zhen Yao. He assumes the mob finally caught up with Ting Fan for messing with the wrong woman. That night, Qing Xia visits Zhen Yao's home. He plays all her favorite songs and shares how the music makes him feel. Perhaps the melody reached the part of Xiao Tong buried deep within her. Because that night, Qing Xia had a terrifyingly vivid dream. In the dream, she walks into a beer hall and sees a girl being brutally assaulted by Oh Yang. She realizes with horror that the girl on the floor is her. In her dream, she tries to get closer, but she realizes with a shudder that everyone around her has vanished into thin air, leaving only Xiao Tong and Zhen Yao. Didn't I tell you not to open the door? He asks. When Qing Xia finally snaps awake, something miraculous and terrifying happens. Her vision has been completely restored. Is this still a dream? Why can I see her? She wonders. Looking around the room, she finds a photo of Zhen Yao and Xiao Tong together. When Zhen Yao notices she's awake, she hides the truth, letting him believe she just had a nightmare without mentioning she can see again. The next morning, she rushes to the hospital for answers. However, the doctor's response leaves her reeling. There's absolutely nothing wrong with your eyes. Instead of a prescription, the doctor suggests she visit a psychiatric ward. Confused, she opens her wallet and finds her parents' names written inside. A chilling realization hits her. Why can't I remember my own parents? Why did I think they were already dead? Meanwhile, as Zhen Yao is eating, a breaking news report flashes on the screen. A body has washed ashore. DNA tests identify the victim as a man with gang affiliations. Let's shift the timeline for a moment. In 2023, while Zhen Yao is away, a girl named Zhu accidentally spots a woman who looks exactly like her. What sends shivers down her spine is when the woman calls her Qing Xia. Tian Qing, it's been so long. What are you doing here? I'm Xiao Yi. Zhu walks over to a mirror. She first notices the butterfly tattoo on her wrist. But when she looks up, the face in the mirror transforms into Qing Xia. It turns out Zhu was the new name her parents gave her after her memory loss. Yet she had spent all this time believing her name was Qing Xia. What is wrong with you? The woman asks. Do you really want to know everything? The timeline shifts back to the year Zhen Yao killed Ting Fan. Li Chun stands before the door of Xiao Tong's parents, clutching a gift. He wants to pay his respects but lacks the courage to knock. As he hesitates, Xiao Tong's mother walks out and casually mentions that her daughter is currently dating a man named Zhen Yao. Determined to confirm her identity, Li Chun knocks on her door. Is Xiao Tong home? He asks. She recoils. Xiao Tong, I know it's you. She replies, I've told you. I'm not the person you're looking for, and I don't know her. Li Chun begs, please, just give me one chance to apologize for what happened back then. It was all Ouyang. They forced me into it. His words act as a trigger, and the dark personality, Yi, suddenly awakens. If you're truly sorry, then go die, she snarls. Do you have any idea how much you're hurting my hand? Zhen Yao arrives and is stunned to see a side of Qing Xia he has never witnessed before. She screams at Li Chun, if it wasn't for you, Xiao Tong wouldn't have been raped by those bastards. How do you have the nerve to face her? It's all your fault. It's only when Zhen Yao gently places his hand on her forehead that the Qing Xia personality begins to return. Even though Yi didn't physically hurt Zhen Yao, her words were the spark that officially pushed him onto the path of cold-blooded revenge. Later, a confused Qing Xia tells him, I don't know what came over me. When we first met, was the name you called me Xiao Tong? Did you only mistake me for her? Did you only say you liked me because of that? Zhen Yao looks her in the eye and says, no, I do love you. She asks, will you disappear one day? He promises, never. I will never leave you. Suddenly, a chilling laugh echoes through the room. She pushes the door open and is horrified to find Qing Xia self-harming. Why can't you just stay away from me? She cries. The truth is heartbreaking. She can never go back to being the Xiao Tong she was before meeting him. Meanwhile, Yun Chun discovers the leaked video of Xiao Tong's assault online. She takes $2 million and confronts Zhang, demanding to know her role in that horrific night. Turns out it wasn't just the boys. Zhang was there too. I had no idea it was going to happen before I got there, Zhang claims defensively. But she warned me. She told me not to testify against them. Not only did you fail to save Xiao Tong, but you also trampled on others. Did you really think we'd just let it go? Yun Chun has successfully recovered her $2 million and officially launched her plan to avenge Xiao Tong. Posing as an advertiser, she sets up a meeting with Zhang. However, since Zhang is away on business, Yun Chun pivots to investigate the other predators involved in the assault. She walks into Meng Heng's restaurant and, through a casual conversation, manages to uncover his and Li Chen's current jobs. As for the ringleader, Ouyang, no one seems to know where he's vanished to or why he hasn't been in touch. Yun Chun decides to make Tai Chuang her first target and begins stalking him in the shadows. Tai Chuang is now a physical education teacher, but his true nature hasn't changed. He frequently beats and assaults his students. When one female student tries to report him to the school, Tai Chuang corners her. You think telling the school will do anything? He sneers. You think calling the Board of Education will stop me? I'm your teacher. My first job is to teach you how to accept your fate. How can a piece of trash like you be a teacher? The girl wonders. She knows exactly how evil Tai Chuang is, but she's powerless to fight back. Just as despair sets in, Yun Chun appears. Do you feel wronged? Let me help you vent that anger. That night, while Tai Chuang is on the phone with his wife, Zhen Yao strikes from behind, overpowering him instantly. Tai Chuang becomes the second name on Zhen Yao's hit list. Zhen Yao shoves a funnel into the man's mouth and pours an entire bottle of poison down his throat. Give me another chance, Tai Chuang begs. Zhen Yao's response is ice cold. When Xiao Tong begged you to stop, did you give her a chance? He answers by increasing the dosage of the poison. The man collapses in agony. Even though he manages to vomit a small amount, it's far too late. As he dies, Zhen Yao plays Xiao Tong's favorite song. By the time the song ends, the man is dead. Zhen Yao then hangs the body upside down from the ceiling, letting the blood drain out like a pig at a slaughterhouse. To ensure the body is harder to identify, he pulls out all 10 of the man's teeth before dumping the corpse in a desolate area. Meanwhile, Yun Chun leaks the footage she secretly filmed of Tai Chuang abusing his student. Within hours, the internet goes into a frenzy, doxing Tai Chuang's every detail. People begin throwing firecrackers through his windows, and his front door is plastered with hateful messages. Later, the student sends a message to Yoon Chun, asking to meet. But when Yoon Chun arrives, it's not the student. It's Tai, the student's name/accomplice. Turns out the boy used the girl's phone to lure her there. Why are you doing this? He screams. What did I ever do to you? We bullied Xiao Tong. Not you. Why are you targeting me? Before he can finish, Zhen Yao intervenes. Zhen Yao, what are you doing? Wait a minute. After Zhen Yao eliminates the threat, he cleans the scene meticulously. Yoon Chun stays with him during the cleanup. From the target's dying words, Zhen Yao learns the shocking truth. Xiao Tong is still alive. He takes Yoon Chun to see the current Ching Xia, but on her hospital bed, she doesn't recognize anyone. She has regressed back into a state of total mental chaos. Yoon Chun realizes that Zhen Yao is not going to stop killing, so she makes a pact with him. She will provide the money and the intel he needs. Don't call the police, Zhen Yao tells her. Just pretend you know nothing. I'll turn myself in when it's over. Yoon Chun agrees. From now on, whatever you need, I will find a way to get it for you. But starting today, I cannot let you have any contact with Xiao Tong. Don't worry about her. Later, Chao Yi and some friends visit Ching Xia. Within Xiao Tong's fractured mind, the EE personality is confident and radiant, so she refuses to be hypnotized. At that time, she was identifying as Chao Yi, but then a new personality named Tan Yu emerged, believing herself to be an assistant director. By the time Yoon Chun discovers this, the Tan Yu personality has taken complete control, leaving Yoon Chun with no choice but to pretend to be her cousin. With Yoon Chun by her side, Xiao Tong's condition has improved significantly. During his relentless hunt for vengeance, Zhen Yao only dares to watch her from the shadows. He can't bring himself to face her, terrified that a single look might trigger her traumatic memories of him. But the clock is ticking. A few days later, the police find their first lead on Li Chun. Determined to help Zhen Yao finish his bloody work before the cops close in, Yoon Chun hands him all the intel she's gathered on the remaining targets. From now on, you have to plan your routes perfectly to avoid surveillance. She warns him. You need to create gaps in your trail. Here are the documents I got after scouting Meng Hung's place. She points to another photo. This is Zhang. She didn't just know about the assault. She was an accomplice. Leave everything else to me, you just make sure Xiao Tong is taken care of. Zhen Yao wastes no time. Disguised as a deliveryman, he infiltrates Zhang's home and drains her energy, leaving her incapacitated. His next stop is Meng Hung's restaurant. He sits down calmly and orders a bowl of beef noodles. As the music starts playing in the background, he pulls on a pair of black gloves and walks straight toward Meng Hung. After the deed is done, Zhen Yao returns to his table as if nothing happened, finishing his meal in peace. By the time he swallows the last bite, Meng Hung has breathed his last. He stuffs the man's torn clothes into a bag, tosses them into the back seat of his car, and then pops the trunk to check on a terrified Zhang. Zhang had once been one of Ouyang's puppets just to secure a lead dancer spot. But the string of brutal murders has put Ouyang on high alert. In a terrifying vision, Ouyang imagines Zhen Yao stabbing him and closing in with a razor-sharp blade. He wakes up to find he has wet the bed. It was just a nightmare, but the fear is real. Ouyang has spent his entire life living in Zhen Yao's shadow. His mother, desperate to stop his bedwetting, invites spiritual healers to perform rituals. But to Ouyang, this is nothing but a humiliating insult. What karma? He screams. He has zero respect for his mother, believing that if she had the guts to kill Zhen Yao years ago, they wouldn't be living such a miserable existence now. Almost everyone involved in Xiao Tong's tragedy has been wiped out. Only Ouyang and Yi Tong remain. Yi Tong is convinced that Xiao Tong has returned as a vengeful spirit to claim their souls, but Ouyang refuses to believe in ghosts. Despite the fear, they continue their depraved business, threatening women and forcing them to serve guests. Yoon Chun eventually confronts Ouyang after he breaks his promise and leaks her video online. She clutches a wine bottle, ready to smash it over his head, but her courage fails her at the last second. As she flees, she hears bystanders whispering and pointing at her. In a panic, she ducks into a deserted alley, but even there, she can't escape the ghost of Xiao Tong. I'm sorry, she sobs. Yoon Chen's mental state is in total collapse. Since that day, the image of Xiao Tong has haunted her every waking moment. She hears the voice of the girl she betrayed. I begged you to save me, but you acted like you couldn't hear. She remembers the last thing she saw, Xiao Tong hugging Ouyang. Aren't we friends? I'll stay by your side forever, she had said. Yoon Chen, the girl who thought she was innocent because she was just a bystander, is finally paying the price for her indifference. The rest of her life will be a living nightmare, haunted by the friend she failed to save. Yi Tong, unable to handle the crushing anxiety any longer, tells Ouyang he's fleeing the country to go into hiding. That night, While the two are talking on the phone, the angel of death finally arrives. Tung wets himself in sheer terror. But this time, it isn't a dream. The path of vengeance isn't over yet. Next on the list are the figures from the past, including Tung. But before Zhen Yao can strike, he witnesses something unexpected. Tung's wife is brutally abusing their young son. The sight instantly triggers Zhen Yao's own childhood trauma of being tormented by his father. Without a second thought, he uses the cover of darkness to break into Tung's house and smashes the man's kneecaps to pieces. Tung pleads for mercy. "My wife is innocent. She doesn't even know you. I know you don't kill innocent people." It's true, his wife had nothing to do with what happened to Xiao Tong. But she made one fatal mistake. She abused a child right in front of Zhen Yao, a man who has become a monster to kill the monsters of his past. Zhen Yao turns back, sets his blade down, and clenches his fists. As the hours tick away, the life of Tung slowly ebbs toward a gruesome end. Zhen Yao once thought his own father was the definition of evil, but he quickly realized there are parents in this world who are even worse. Tung and his wife, the Wu, didn't deserve the title of parents. Their house was a battlefield of domestic violence, and whenever they finished fighting each other, they took their rage out on their child. The Wu loved to vent her bitterness on her son. In Zhen Yao's eyes, neither she nor Tung was innocent. They didn't die for nothing. In the middle of the carnage, the young boy standing by the stairs utters a haunting phrase, "Don't forget about me." Zhen Yao hadn't intended to kill the boy, but in that split second, he didn't see a child. He saw a mirror image of his own helpless, pathetic past self. In a state of psychological mania, he takes the boy's life, but what he was truly trying to kill was the shadow of his own traumatic childhood. "It's all your fault. It's all your fault," he mutters to himself. "Don't say it anymore. Shut up." Before turning himself in, Zhen Yao wants to see his mother one last time. But when he arrives, he witnesses the same old nightmare. His father is still demanding money and beating his mother. Consumed by a lifetime of repressed fury, he finally ends his father's life with his own hands. His mother, paralyzed with fear, stumbles back, crying, "Zhen Yao, don't do this. I was wrong. Please don't." Zhen Yao simply kneels before her and says the words that would break anyone's heart. "Mom, you have to take care of yourself from now on." He picks up the phone. "Hello? My name is Zhen Yao. I've killed people." After his arrest, the police asked him why he wouldn't even spare the child. Zhen Yao's only response is a cold, "Maybe, I'm just a bastard." Fast forward to 2023. The personality known as Zhu enters Xiao Tong's room to tell her about Zhen Yao's current situation. She knows that deep down, Xiao Tong has never stopped caring for him. Previously, the true Xiao Tong personality had briefly surfaced, weeping in an elevator and frantically searching for news of Zhen Yao on a computer. Zhu realizes that she isn't the one Zhen Yao wants to see. Despite having the same face, Zhen Yao has always longed for the innocent, kind-hearted Xiao Tong of the past. Zhu's words finally trigger a reaction that Xiao Tong had been suppressing for years. At that moment, the stopped clock of her mind finally begins to tick again. When Xiao Tong visits Zhen Yao in prison, her very first words confirm she is truly back. "Zhen Yao, you idiot." After her recovery, Xiao Tong reunites with Yun Chan and finally returns to her parents' arms. As Christmas approaches, Xiao Tong wants to see Zhen Yao again, but he begs her not to come. Christmas is supposed to be a day of joy. "I've seen your eyes again, and I'm satisfied," he tells her. He is terrified that he will die the day before their meeting, leaving her with nothing but a memory of his suffering. He doesn't want her to be sad because of him anymore. "Why are you breaking your promise?" she cries. "You said you wouldn't let go of my hand. I'm coming on Christmas." If Xiao Tong can't be with Zhen Yao, she decides to process her trauma by turning her experience into a documentary. But before she can speak her truth, the Zhu personality suddenly reappears, staring intensely. They realize that if they release the film, the same malice that once pushed Xiao Tong to the brink might come crashing down on her all over again. They can't let her be hurt twice. Meanwhile, Mrs. Ouyang is living in a perpetual hell of nightmares. It's revealed that as her son, Ouyang, lay dying, she was the one who personally smothered him to death. She visits Zhen Yao in prison to confront him. "You know what I want to ask?" she hisses. Zhen Yao mocks her. "The most useless person here is you. You're just a piece of trash." He looks at her and says, "Just hold on a little longer. It won't hurt anymore." Then, Zhen Yao begins to softly hum a melody. It's the exact same song Mrs. Ouyang had hummed to her son while she was killing him. She realizes then that Zhen Yao knows her darkest secret. The reason Zhen Yao never exposed Mrs. Ouyang's secret was far more calculated than mercy. He believed that forcing her to live with the agonizing pain of her son's death would be a much more brutal torture than any prison cell. The weight of her guilt finally broke her. Mrs. Ouyang suffered a total mental collapse and eventually passed away in a hospital bed. Meanwhile, Ouyang's father, driven by political ambition and the hunger for public votes, demanded Zhen Yao's immediate execution. On Christmas Day, the very day they were supposed to reunite, Zhen Yao received a final greeting card from Xiao Tong. With only 3 hours left before his sentence was to be carried out, he made one last request: to hear a song. As he was being led to the execution chamber, every memory of his life with Xiao Tong flashed through his mind like a beautiful, fading dream. After the execution, Zhen Yao's mother brought his ashes home. Clutching the urn, she whispered to her son, "You've worked so hard. In your next life, please remember to choose a good mother. Don't choose a useless mother like me again." Back on stage, Xiao Tong's solo performance of The Dying Swan begins. This was the dance she had once promised to perform just for him. Under the bright spotlights, she can almost see Zhen Yao's silhouette watching from the shadows. He couldn't be there in the flesh to witness it, but Xiao Tong fulfilled her promise to him until the very end. As the story reaches its final moments, an anonymous post goes viral online. Every single depraved act committed by Ouyang and his gang during their high school years is finally dragged into the light. The scandal ruins Ouyang's father, and the public's collective rage turns entirely toward him. In the final scene, we see Xiao Tong sitting alone by the shore. She reads the last letter Zhen Yao ever wrote to her, takes off her shoes, and with tears streaming down her face, she slowly walks into the deep, dark sea. And that brings us to the end of this tragic story. If you were moved by this journey, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more detailed recaps. Thanks for watching.